All right, fans, let's hear it for your Edgewater Castle FC Rooks. Fans, please stand if you are able and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem performed by Edgewater Castle's very own Lauren Hall.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And now today's starting lineups, first for visiting Crystal Lake Force. In goal, number 1, Addison Cleary. Number 4, Caroline Siostet. Number 6, Emerson Gassman. Number 7, the captain, Kelly Collins. Number 10, Laura Corus. Number 11, Margaret Rivera. Number 14, Alyssa Heyman. Number 16, Kelly Leone. Number 28, Stephanie Freund. Number 70, Kelly Ramirez. And number 27, Johanna Camargo. Crystal Lake are coached by Diego Ceballos, assisted by Megan Larkin and Kristen Rockall. And now the starting lineup for your Edgewater Castle FC Rooks. In goal from Chicago and Cal State Sacramento, number 97, Cynthia Waller. A defender, number 3, from Morton Grove and North Park University, Danielle Budak. A forward from North Aurora and Loyola, number 5, Catherine Stevens. A midfielder from Park Ridge and the University of Evansville, number 6, Emily Olson. A midfielder from Cincinnati and North Central College, number 8, co-captain Kylie Egan. A defender from Hawthorne Woods and Ball State, co-captain, number 10, Lauren Hall. A midfielder from Mountain View, California and UC San Diego, number 11, Lucy Tang. A forward from Evanston and Marquette, number 12, Jocelyn Lee. A forward from Chicago and Ohio University, number 22, Scout Murray. A defender from Gibsonia, Pennsylvania and Loyola, number 25, Skylar Bierker. And a forward from Wilmington, North Carolina, and Vassar College, number 33, Kelsey Ham. Edgewater Castle are coached by Emma Woodley. She's assisted by Christian Booz, Flower Eddington, Natalie Mathis, and Stockton Mayer. Good afternoon and welcome to the second half of Acorns Day, an Edgewater Castle FC doubleheader here live on the Edgewater Castle YouTube page from the Loyola Soccer Park at Hoyne Fields. I'm Alex Campbell as the Rooks look to seal their position atop the standings this season in UWS. They've already clinched at least a share of the title, and a result today would guarantee that they will be the division champions. They take on Crystal Lake Forest, a team they beat 6-1 in their first game of the season. Crystal Lake Forest, though, have recovered really well. They are 4-1-1 on the season, so 5 unbeaten since that 6-1 loss against Edgewater Castle. Emma Woodley makes 2 changes today to her lineup that defeated DeKalb County United 3-0 here last weekend, and that is in goal. It is the recent high school graduate Cynthia Waller from Lane Tech. She's on her way to Cal State Sacramento. She starts in goal. The other change is at right wingback, where Scout Murray replaces Molly Pistorius. Edgewater Castle in their special Acorns Day kits today, the light and dark green vertical stripes. If you missed it earlier, the men 7-0 victors over the Chicago City Dutch Lions. A comfortable and entertaining win for the men's side, who are trying to make a push for promotion. Edgewater Castle will be familiar with one of the attackers on the Crystal Lake lineup today, Johanna Camargo, who previously this season turned out for Indiana United, and I thought was pretty clearly their best player in that home opener. But she now plays for Crystal Lake Force. And Crystal Lake are led by their club co-founder, Kelly Collins. Previously an indoor player for Chicago Mustangs, and leads the division in points. 6 goals, 1 assist, narrowly ahead of Edgewater's Jocelyn Lee with her 6 goals. And it will be Collins to get us underway. Crystal Lake in all white with the blue accents going left to right. Edgewater Castle in all green on Acorns Day. We thank Acorns for being a sponsor of Edgewater Castle FC, and we are underway in the second half of this doubleheader here at Loyola in Rogers Park on the north side of Chicago. Glad you could join us. Ham goes into that challenge against Collins. Soon as I've got a sense of the formation for Crystal Lake, we'll go through the lineups for both teams. Taking a while to get this throw in on the far side. Not sure what the holdup is. And unable to keep that in play was Collins. Edgewater Castle on the season, 20 goals scored, just 4 conceded. Jocelyn Lee squaring to the center, no one there. It's a run down by Olsen. Emily Olsen, who had 3 assists in that 6-1 win earlier in the season. Molly Pistorius, not in the squad today, also had 3 that day. As trying to turn out of trouble here is the left back, Gassman. And it's played all the way back. First touches here for Cynthia Waller, making her Edgewater Castle first team debut today. Finding the feet of Skylar Bierker. Ham. They'll go back over here to Crystal Lake Force. Looking down the far wing for Sjosted, North Park forward. Working back there is the striker, Leone. Pressure put on there by Tang, but able to control is Ramirez. Flick through. Sjosted. Her shot is right at, Waller, who gets things started again quickly. Chase into the corner. Bierker. They're up against Kelly Collins. Into the middle, flicked on. In the penalty area, getting a foot to it eventually was Bierker. Trying to turn out a pressure there was Camargo. Waller under some pressure here, got to be careful. And the Rooks out of dodge here with Scout Murray. Lee just too much on that, looking for Stevens. Out from the back from Addison Cleary, who's a student at Indiana University but does not play for the Hoosiers. Certainly Edgewater Castle, a big advantage in this game in active collegiate players. Only a couple on this Crystal Lake team. Stevens, outside here for Lucy Tang. Tang cutting inside onto her right. Tang crossing, Jocelyn Lee couldn't quite contort herself to get good contact. It's a goal kick here in the 5th minute. Quick rundown of the teams positionally. So for Crystal Lake, it is Addison Cleary in goal. It is a back four from right to left of Laura Corris, Margaret Rivera, Stephanie Freund, and Emerson Gassman. Midfield, defensive midfielder is Kelly Ramirez, with number 14, Alyssa Hammond, and number 72, Johanna Camargo, ahead of her as the number 8s. Right wing is number 7, Kelly Collins. Left wing, number 4, Caroline Sjosted. And the striker is number 16, Kelly Leone. For the Rooks, Cynthia Waller in goal, a back three of Danielle Budak, Lauren Hall, and Skylar Bierker. Right wing back is Scout Murray. Left wing back, Kelsey Ham. Midfield of Olsen, Egan, Tang, as usual. And also, as usual, Stevens and Lee, the strike partnership. Time here for Skylar Bierker, rising junior center back for the Loyola Ramblers, playing on her home pitch this summer. Kelsey Ham. That was a good step there from Hammond. Long ball, Stevens looking to track it down up against Corris. Able to turn, dropping deep is Leone. Budak, though, a good step for the Rooks. Egan, back for Budak. Scout Murray. Down the line for Kylie Egan, who kept her run going, and here is Egan, edge of the area. She's got Jocelyn Lee in the middle. Jocelyn Lee, sliding challenge. What an effort that was to deny the goal. I believe it was Margaret Rivera, the center back, who slid in and prevented a near tap-in for the Rooks' leading scorer. Corner kick. Kylie Egan to take. Out swinger, right in the middle of the area. It's over Lee. Cleared further by Camargo. Now Collins battles with Scout Murray for it. Collins, who leads the division in scoring, 6 goals, 1 assist. Collins again. And they kind of underline how impressive it is that Kelly Collins is out here captaining this team still. Kelly Collins graduated from St. Mary's College in Notre Dame, Indiana in 1992, before almost all of her teammates, or most of her teammates will say were born, because couldn't verify information about a couple of players on this Crystal Lake squad, but I can confidently say almost all of her teammates were born after her collegiate career, where she also played basketball for the Bells. Hall taking it short to the near side. Kelsey Ham crossing to the far post. It's a shot. It goes in. The classic, was it a shot? Was it a cross? Who cares? 1-0 Rooks. You can call it a crot. You can call it a shafts. You can call it whatever you want. The Rooks will call it the game's opening goal. Goal for the Rooks, scored in the 8th minute by number 33, Kelsey Ham. The assist to number 10, Lauren Hall. Well, in terms of the Venn diagram of such things, I think that is firmly in the it was supposed to be a cross category. But they work all the same. That's a well-delivered ball from Ham, and she's rewarded with it going into the back of the net. Not much Addison Cleary could have done. The nutmeg here by Collins, looking for the instant response. Again, Collins, a former Chicago Mustangs semi-professional indoor player. Ball through the middle, dropping back was Tang. Tang gave it away, big chance here. It was Ham intervening, and Tang away. And a good step out from the back here by Laura Corus. Collins. Launched forward by Hammond, and over the top. Should note that one of the cooler backstories we've come across this season in UWS is Crystal Lake Force right back Laura Corus. Played her college ball at Louisiana Tech, and now works as a professional stunt woman and is a frequent appearance stunt double on the various NBC Chicago shows. So Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD. If you are a viewer of those programs, you have seen Laura Corus on television. It's one of those strange things when you look up a player, it's like IMDb. That's not what I was expecting to find when I Googled this person, but you double check, and in fact, IMDb came up before her college soccer career. Jocelyn Lee trying to turn. She was pulled back there. Not enough for a foul in the eyes of the official as it bounces into the Edgewater Castle bench. So that is now 21 scored and just 4 conceded by Edgewater Castle this season. And it brings Crystal Lake's total to 14 scored, 10 conceded. So Crystal Lake, not a team whose games contain a lot of goals. But, you know, to be fair, of the 10 goals they've conceded, 7 of them now have been to Edgewater Castle. So coming into today, this is not a game you probably would have expected a lot of scoring. Also, it is hot and getting hotter here in Chicago. Catherine Stevens trying to turn onto that one and then blocks the ball from Corus. Emily Olsen. Olsen looking back towards Stevens. Not quite enough on that ball. Here's Ramirez. And that hit the referee, so we're going to get a drop ball to Crystal Lake. Crystal Lake's results since that 1-6 loss to Edgewater: a 1-0 win at DeKalb County, a 1-0 win versus DeKalb County, 5-0 versus Indiana United, a 2-2 draw with Rockford Raptors, 4-1 win at Indiana United. They will finish up their summer at Rockford Raptors on Wednesday unless they can force some kind of really crazy scenario where they equal Edgewater's record and equal the goal difference. Lauren Hall said to have not committed a foul there, but didn't keep it in play. It's going to be a throw-in as Sjøstedt, the native of Nasoya, Norway, was trying to run that down. 7 goals, 2 assists for her in her 2 years so far at North Park. So she's a player that, of course, Edgewater Castle and North Park head coach Emma Woodley will know well as one of the defenders she's up against today on that side of the field. Right-sided center back Daniel Budak. Trying to skip through the middle was Camargo. Took some contact there at the end. Lauren Hall checks to make sure she's all right. Meanwhile, Jocelyn Lee is off and running the other way. Lee, a one-woman counterattack. Has Stevens with her. Still Jocelyn Lee. Jocelyn Lee all the way. And a late-ditch challenge by Rivera again. And the second time she's needed to get that perfect to deny Jocelyn Lee. And the second time she's done so. Corner kick. Player of the match so far for Crystal Lake Force, Margaret Rivera, the former Judson University player. 3 years for them after 1 year at Northern Illinois. Just 3 active collegiate soccer players, though, in this Crystal Lake 11 today. Outswinger from Egan into the middle. Header won by the Force. And some miscommunication here between Hall and Ham, and in the end, they get away with it, and Lauren Hall with an apology / a signal to slow it down for Cynthia Waller, who has looked calm and composed so far in her first team debut. Ham, Stevens. Ham able to recover that. I'm sure she'd like to stay right there in the shade. Egan. A lot of traffic here as Egan's pushed off the ball. Free kick. Egan, who got her first goal this summer in the USASA Cup a couple of weeks ago against FC Milwaukee Torrent, making her 4th start of the summer. Cleary sending this forward, formerly played for Crystal Lake Central High School, where she also played tennis and basketball. This is a bouncing ball long, and Waller didn't clear it. It's an empty net, and it's in. It's a 7th goal of the season for Collins. And just after I'd said she looked calm and composed, it's an error at the back by the young goalkeeper, and it's 1-1. Exactly what you would have been afraid of today if you're Edgewater Castle, with a young goalkeeper making her debut, as Kelly Collins pounces and equalizes. Goal for Crystal Lake Force, scored in the 15th minute by number 7, Kelly Collins. So Collins extends her lead at the top of the scoring chart for the season. What response do Edgewater have? Inside here, Scout Murray. Murray all the way across for Egan. Egan first time. Stevens turning. Catherine Stevens save. Rebound. Pawed out of bounds by Cleary, who couldn't find it at first and then did the smart thing just to get that ball out of play. Almost an immediate response from the Rooks. They'll have a corner. Egan into the middle. Headed away but not clear. Murray back to the middle. Couldn't get her foot around it. Goal kick. So no clean sheet for either team today. But also no Lucy Clark for Edgewater, the veteran goalkeeper, to bail them out in a situation like that. Waller did the right thing. She came out and tried to clear that ball, but hit it right into Collins, who was able to control it, turn, and pass it into the open net. And now if you're the Rooks, you'll just hope that the young keeper can shake that off and not let it affect her confidence the rest of this game. Nice turn by Murray, but she couldn't find the ball after it. And these two teams met early in the season. Crystal Lake scored first. They led that game 1-0 before 6 unanswered from Edgewater. Good win there by Lauren Hall. Only as far, though, as Collins. Olsen, pressured by Shostet. Kelsey Ham with space. Olsen finding Budak. Stevens floating out wide. That ball takes a deflection. Egan sliding to direct that toward the penalty area. Not cleared. At least not at first, as Leone is playing almost as a 10 or a false 9. Gets it ahead to Shostet. Looking long for Collins, who's made a good run. Collins heading it forward. Collins goes down. Decision for the referee. Not much of an appeal for from Collins in the end, as Bierker did well. But that's clearly what Crystal Lake want to do. They want to get Kelly Collins isolated against a center back and trust that she's going to make the most of it. Catherine Stevens looking through the lines. Wanted Murray. Good intervention by Rivera. Olsen. Lucy Tang. Murray. Back out for Ham. Good crossing position. Kelsey Ham again in toward that far post. Stevens was there. Didn't win it cleanly. Stevens called for a foul on the defender. It'll be a free kick for Crystal Lake Force. If you joined us late at all, it was an 8th-minute opener on a cross from Kelsey Ham that floated over the goalkeeper into the top corner. And then in the 15th minute, Kelly Collins with the equalizer for Crystal Lake. Kylie Egan onto the loose ball, chipping it forward, but too strong. As scooping it up is Cleary. Shostet trying to go one-on-one with her former college teammate. And in the end, that is some afters there. And a yellow card's going to come out for Budak, so no love lost there, apparently. And Budak is pleading her case of why she did what she did. But now the Edgewater defender will have to be careful, especially with those one-on-one battles we've seen Collins get into already. Could be a vulnerable backline for the Rooks. Shosted puts on the brakes and finds Collins. And that's into the Edgewater bench, another throw. A yellow card caution has been issued in the 21st minute to Edgewater Castle number 3, Danielle Budak. Into the corner for Collins. Collins gets the cross away, but can't keep it in play. Goal kick. Crystal Lake Force, only 3 outfield players on their bench today. That's Alex Vavresniak, Chloe Pfaff, and Karina Lopez. Olsen flicking that forward. Egan finding Tang. And then Tang lost her footing. Back forward. Collins. Camargo. Johanna Camargo from distance. Off target. For the Rooks on the bench, they have Natasha Davenport, Cam Sangstock, Bella Sesniak, Ashley Sesniak, Courtney Sangstock, Abby Balmaceda, and Molly Saran. That won't stay in either. And I'm sure Emma Woodley right now is thinking about where her former center back at North Park, Budak's head is at right now after the frustration of that yellow card. Crossing opportunity here. Budak blocked that. Shot comes in. Crystal Lake are getting their attempts. Not troubling Waller a whole lot. Better goal kick this time from Waller. Jocelyn Lee taking it off the bounce. Turning and looking for the run of Stevens. Interesting to see that Catherine Stevens is playing so wide to start this match. It's really less of wingbacks and more of a back four with Murray and Stevens playing as true wingers. This ball in behind, all the way through for Waller. Murray. Scout Murray toward the corner, too much for Lee. And Edgewater Castle, just since that equalizer, have looked out of sorts. And are we going to get a cooling break? Yes, just past the halfway point of the first half. Cooling break. And so we'll take a few moments for the players to go to the bench and to talk things over with the coaches. Welcome into the broadcast booth. Alex Campbell with you here live on YouTube. Thanks for joining us this afternoon on a, as you can tell, very sweaty afternoon here in Chicago. 1-1 the score here in the 24th minute at the water break. Early on, it was, just kind of a fluky goal for Kelsey Ham to give the Rooks the lead, but, the Rooks had looked really solid and got that lead, and then it's all undone by a mistake at the back. An attempted clearance by Waller, the goalkeeper, goes right into Collins, who just passes it into the empty net, being very opportunistic. The Crystal Lake Forest captain. We're tied at 1, and ever since that equalizer, Crystal Lake have absolutely looked like the more dangerous of the two teams. They look like they've got a really solid game plan today of how they want to get at this Edgewater Castle backline. It's going well so far, just with some of the attempts we've seen and the trouble that Collins is causing this back three. Budak's now on a yellow card. You'd have to say overall right now, advantage is with the visitors. But again, because they are so short on the bench, the Rooks would love to be in a position, as we saw last week in the heat, where they can manage their substitutions, keep everybody fresh, and eventually the other team just gets worn down and can't keep up. That's what we saw last week against DeKalb County, where the margin in that game was never particularly great. But DeKalb just looked absolutely exhausted by about the 65th, 70th minute, and there was really no coming back for them at that point. Different story today, but it is the top two teams in the division, and Crystal Lake Forest will certainly want revenge after that 6-1 loss to begin the season, which really just isn't characteristic of their year when you look at the rest of their results. But we thank you for tuning in to see how this one turns out as the best two teams in the UWS Midwest Conference square off today here in Chicago. These water breaks are at the discretion of the referee, how long they are, and then the stoppage time has to be added on accordingly, though we don't always see that. I called a game last night where in the first half, the referee added on 3 minutes, we played 2. And in the second half, she added on 4 minutes, and we played 2.5. And so you never know exactly what you're getting here. Playing in more of a back four does give Edgewater some security, at least defensively on the flanks. But again, I don't know right now if you want Budak isolated out there at right back on that yellow card. So out of the water break, it's going to be a goal kick for Crystal Lake Force. As Addison Cleary restarts play, playing it short here to Stephanie Freund, the recent Judson graduate. Lots of Judson connections in the program. Edgewater going to make a bunch of subs at a opportunity in the near future. Tang skips by a challenge. Lucy Tang, still Lucy Tang, slaloming, turning, dispossessed. Stevens couldn't find a teammate with that ball. And now here goes Ramirez. Good step, though, by Budak. Egan. Crystal Lake playing really physically out there right now. They came to compete today. We're going to see a triple change. It's Budak, the first one to go off. Tang is out as well. So it's going to be the Sesniak sisters coming into the game, Bella and Ashley. Looks like Bella's going to go in at right back, and Ashley will go into midfield where she's comfortable as a defensive midfielder, so that'll give the Rooks a little more steel in the center of the park, and it does look like they have fully gone 4-3-3 here. And so trying to get into a better grouping for that purpose. Referee will wave another sub, and it's going to be Scout Murray replaced by Courtney Sangstock. Courtney Sangstock, who's missed the last few games, good to see her back. The former Lewis University Flyer. Started the first 3 games of the summer for the Rooks. Hammered into the air by Ramirez. Hall. Nice turn by Ashley Sesniak. Olsen. Egan, so now it'll be Egan and Olsen as number 8s with Ashley Sesniak sitting as a defensive midfielder. This ball in for Jocelyn Lee. Good aggression by Cleary to claim. Freund. Looking long for Sjöstedt. Guided out from under that one by Bella Sesniak. Bella, a rising sophomore at Loris. Ashley, a recent graduate of Central Michigan. That ball rolled out of play. It'll be a Crystal Lake throw. Bella played 22 times with 14 starts as a freshman for the Dewhawks, 3 goals and 1 assist. Made honorable mention in the American Rivers Conference. Crystal Lake look like they're going to be making their first sub of the day. Now? No, gonna wait. Hall all the way back here for Waller. Kelsey Ham. Not a whole lot of options for her. Edgewater certainly haven't gotten Jocelyn Lee as involved as they would have liked so far today, but I'm sure that was a point of emphasis in Crystal Lake's preparation. Olsen, wide here for Ham. Ashley. Crossfield ball for her sister. Bella. Stevens couldn't find her again. That's out of play. Last off Camargo. And we'll get a substitution for Crystal Lake. It'll be Caroline Sjöstedt leaving, replaced by Chloe Pfaff. Substitution for Crystal Lake Force. Leaving the match, number 4, Caroline Sjöstedt, replaced by number 78, Chloe Pfaff. Long throw in for the Rooks. Stevens couldn't bring it down. Sangstock couldn't connect well. It's out for a goal kick. Chloe Pfaff, a rising junior at Francis Mason, who are a Division II team. Played 11 times for them in her first year with the Patriots after transferring from Northern Michigan. Where she would have been a teammate of Edgewater's Molly Pistorius. Collins trying to find a teammate with that, could not. Bella Sesniak. Looks like we're going to have another sister coming into the game, as I think that's Cam Sangstock checking in, as this one runs out for a goal kick. Loose ball in midfield. Ramirez got there first, and here goes Camargo. Camargo looking through the middle. Pfaff couldn't settle it. Egan caught really late there. No card, but a late challenge by Ramirez. As Hall restarts play quickly, here to Ham. Hearing it's going to be Cam Sangstock for Jocelyn Lee. The substitution for Edgewater Castle. Bierker, Kelsey Ham, lots of touches on the ball for Kelsey so far today. Ham was looking for Egan. Olsen. Ashley Sesniak. All the way back for Waller. Olsen, bit of an awkward touch there. Skylar Bierker out for Bella Sesniak. Stevens. Wonder if we'll see her shift centrally when Jocelyn Lee goes out of the game. Good sweeping pass here for Ham. Ham into the area. Ashley Sesniak couldn't quite control that. Well defended by you-know-who, Rivera, who continues to have an excellent game. Crystal Lake are going to make a double change as well, and actually Edgewater are going to make a second sub when they get the chance. Ball into the middle there from Egan, couldn't find a teammate, and Ramirez immediately looks for Collins. Kelly Collins against Lauren Hall, and Hall wins this duel. So 2 double changes coming up for the Rooks and Crystal Lake Forest. Ham can't keep that in play. We'll get the subs. At least we should. It's going to be a triple change for Edgewater. So Lee is out. Ham is out. Might actually be a quadruple change now. We're seeing Gassman go out for Crystal Lake. We're seeing Hammond go out for Crystal Lake. Olsen and Ham are out as well for Edgewater. So a lot to sort out here. Edgewater going to hold that next sub, though. Substitutions for Edgewater Castle, leaving the match number 33, Kelsey Ham, number 6, Emily Olsen, and number 12, Jocelyn Lee. Entering the match, number 9, Cameron Sangstock, number 24, Abby Balmacetta, and number 37, Molly Saran. And now we're going to see Catherine Stevens exit as well. which means that's got to be Natasha Davenport. So going to be a whole mix of changes here, I think, because Davenport not a natural striker. Substitution for Edgewater Castle, leaving the match number 5, Catherine Stevens, replaced by number 7, Natasha Davenport. And the 2 changes for Crystal Lake must have been Vovresniak and Lopez. They're the only other players on the bench. Question is what number Lopez is wearing, because she wasn't given one on the roster pregame. She's at left back now, so looks like she's wearing 9. That's out on the far side for an Edgewater throw. Substitutions for Crystal Lake Forest, leaving the match, number 6, Emerson Gassman, and number 14, Alyssa Hammond. Entering the match, number 9, Karina Lopez, and number 24, Alex Vovresniak. Ashley Sesniak from distance, not quite. It'll be out for a goal kick. 6 minutes plus stoppage time to go here in the first half. This is not the same humming machine we saw Edgewater Castle be last weekend. But I believe everybody available in both squads has now seen the field. Lopez. Forward by Freund. And away by Hall. Ashley Sesniak. Here's Molly Saran, former Minnesota State Mankato player. Ball swept to the far side, no one there. Crystal Lake Force have done their homework, and they are really frustrating Edgewater Castle right now. There aren't really any open passing lanes. And I think if you're Coach Emma Woodley, you're probably in a bit of a let's just see what works phase right now at the end of this half, and then you can decide if you want to throw the original 11 back out there or try something different. Bierker gave it away. Chance for Crystal Lake to counter. Collins waiting for some runners to get ahead of her. Ramirez. Onto this one is Karina Lopez. Giving and going, and the flag is up. Hall made a good challenge anyway. Referee now sees the offside flag. Hall sending it forward. Flicked on by Sangstock. Should say Courtney. It's now the sisters playing as a front two, Cameron and Courtney. Camargo trying to control. Bella. Courtney. Just nothing in the middle of the pitch for the Rooks. Really at any point in this game. Saran's got to be careful. Cam Sangstock. Balmacetta couldn't control, and it's been sloppy like that all game. And mostly it's been Crystal Lake just waiting for the Rooks to make a mistake. It's not like they've generated many other chances. They had one speculative shot early that was easily saved by Waller, and then they had the giveaway that immediately resulted in the goal. Courtney Sangstock. Good crossing position, drags this back. Ramirez is there. Good step by Bella Sesniak. Faf. Vavresniak trying to turn. Kelly Collins dropping deep. Kelly Ramirez. And away by Egan. No one there, and here again come Crystal Lake Force. Kelly Collins crosses that right off the back of Bella Sesniak. Out for a throw here in the 44th minute. Good work there by Bella Sesniak to get out of trouble. Also can't imagine. I know how warm it is up here in the press box. It's got to be even hotter on the field. Long ball for Cam Sangstock to chase. Into the area. Sangstock's cross. She got taken down after the cross. It's going to roll all the way out for a throw on the far side. Sangstock's back to her feet, but big collision there between her and, again, Margaret Rivera, who's felt like she's played the entire back four by herself so far in this one. Egan forward. Sangstock the flick. Only finds Addison Cleary. Saran, that's a good step. Sangstock. Ashley Sesniak, and this has been, I think, a bit of an issue today for the Rooks. The decisions aren't being made quick enough, and that's one where Sesniak's got to get that ball forward, and instead she recycles possession, and then the Rooks give it away. Long ball. Hall could be in trouble here against Camargo. Hall, Waller. Waller goes down. Still chaos here, and it's the right thing. Crystal Lake Forest should just keep playing that exact ball over and over and over again. They're faster than the Rooks center backs, and they've got an inexperienced goalkeeper who's already responsible for one goal. But the Rooks get away with it this time. Again, credit to Crystal Lake. Their pressing against the ball has been so good today. We're in added time. I think I just saw a 3 or 4 flashed by the referee. We'll wait for confirmation on that. Ramirez. Cut out there. 4 minutes have been added on. Ashley Sesniak. Forced wide. Sesniak sends this in. It's over. Courtney Sangstock. Partially cleared by Chorus. Settled by Cam. Cam Sangstock blocked by Ramirez. Faf trying to turn. Good job by Skylar Bierker. Referee got in the way. Play continues as he didn't touch the ball. Saran. Ashley Sesniak. Forward by Bella Sesniak. That's flicked on by the defender. Courtney Sangstock gives chase, but their first is Cleary. Given away to Ashley Sesniak. Couldn't find Balmaceda. Ramirez, counterattacking opportunity again, and here come the speed of Crystal Lake. Faf trying to run this down. Bierker there first, and then Bierker dumped to the turf. Free kick. Approaching halftime, Crystal Lake Force will absolutely be the happier team here. Another giveaway. Again, the Rooks defense really struggling to complete passes to their midfielders today. Kelly Collins, can they capitalize again, the visitors? Collins up against Belasesniak, got by her, put the cross in. No one called for it, and Saran came into the rescue. Balmaceda. Crossfield ball here for Saran. It's been odd. There are times for the Rooks to get the ball forward, and in almost all of those instances, they pass it backwards, and then when they do choose to pass forward, they're passing it right into the teeth of pressure from Crystal Lake Force. Egan able to turn. Saran. Seconds ticking down here in the first half. Courtney Sankstock. Saran sends it forward out of the air by Rivera. Out for a Crystal Lake throw, and that's going to probably be about that for the half. And the referee blows his whistle for halftime, and it's 1-1. Edgewater Castle took the lead early. Crystal Lake responded, and it's hard to argue that Crystal Lake Forest have not been the better team here in this first half. I think Edgewater might feel fortunate to get out of here at 1-1. It is hot. Time for everybody to regroup, get some shade, get some hydration, and hopefully the Rooks can put together a better second 45 than their first. We'll take a break here at halftime from Loyola live here on Edgewater Castle YouTube. You're watching Edgewater Castle UWS Soccer. We'll be back with the second half. Second half about to get underway here in Chicago. 1-1 the score between Crystal Lake Forest and Edgewater Castle. Goals in the 8th minute for Kelsey Ham and the 15th minute for Kelly Collins have us knotted at 1 apiece. Thanks for joining us on this warm, sunny Saturday afternoon in the Rogers Park neighborhood. I'm Alex Campbell. We'll go through the team lineups to start the half. Once we see them, I imagine both teams, especially Crystal Lake, will go back to something very similar to their starting 11. And the second half gets underway here at Loyola Soccer Park at Hoyne Field. Scout Murray for the Rooks in possession. Immediately looking for Jocelyn Lee. Lee into the penalty area. Lee to the back post. Nobody there to tap it home. Closest was Ashley Sesniak. So, which at the very least tells us that it is not the same lineup that started the game for Edgewater Castle. Sent forward for Shostet to give chase. And all the way back now for the young goalkeeper, Cynthia Waller. A shout out to any extended friends and family of the Wallers tuning in today to watch her first game for the Edgewater women's first team. Got to talk to her dad and some siblings up here in the press box, sitting just off to our left at the half. Bella Sesniak. Scout Murray. Crossing to the middle, Lee couldn't settle initially. That's half cleared. And then Stevens scores, but it's judged that Lee fouled Rivera. If nothing else, a positive start for the Rooks in this second half. Gassman tracking that one down and looking ahead, but Bella Sesniak there in front of Shostet. Scout Murray. Emily Olson trying to chip that through. Back for Olson. Olson, I think, thought about having a go there. Out wide, here's Scout Murray, running this down, keeping it in play. Murray cutting inside, bit of a loose touch as it's hammered away. Just trying to figure out who's at left back for the Rooks. That's the only question I've still got about the lineup to start this half. It is Kelsey Ham. Swung in right on top of the goal. Headed off the crossbar. It's going to be another corner. Referee says the goalkeeper got a touch on that. I don't think she did, but the Rooks will take it. Kylie Egan to take. Egan low, outswinger, flicked on. Still there. Lee got a foot to it eventually. Olson on the header. Camargo settling it for Gassman. So for Crystal Lake Force, they are back with their original starting 11. Cleary in goal. Chorus, Rivera, Freund, and Gassman across the back line. Ramirez, Hammond, Camargo in midfield. So that one doesn't quite break for Jocelyn Lee. Still tangling there. Could it come for Egan? No. She goes down. Referee says Free kick right on the edge of the area. To finish that off, it's a Collins, Leon, and Shostet front line. For Edgewater Castle, it is Waller in goal, Bella Sesniak, Hall, Bierker, Ham, the back line, Ashley Sesniak, Olson, Egan in midfield, Murray, Lee, Stevens, right to left across the front line. And now, Emily Olson, who we've seen score a direct free kick from a few yards further away this season, but definitely has the range, as Addison Cleary lines up the wall. Edgewater have started the second half well after not their best work in the opening 45, and this would be a great boost of confidence in this game. Emily Olson went for under the wall. It didn't work. They didn't jump. Hall tried to cross into the middle. That didn't work either. Hall from distance. It's right to Cleary, so an opportunity not taken for the Rooks. And good discipline by Crystal Lake Force to not jump in the wall. Stevens got a foot to that and found Olson. Olson just shoved over from behind, free kick. Leon, the guilty party. And this might be almost a better shooting range than that last one, even though it's further out. So Olson, again, going to line this up. The referee's waiting to walk off the 10 yards here. And you can bet Emily's going to shoot this. The only other option I can see is her laying it off short to her right to have Lauren Hall step into one. Wall placed right at the top of the D. It's going to be Olson. Second attempt from 15 yards further. Olson will have a go for goal, and it's tipped over the top by Cleary. Great goalkeeping. And a good hit from Olson. Corner for the Rooks. Kylie Egan will take. Rooks all lined up on the goal line. Only Bierker and Bella Sesniak not involved in this. Egan swings it in. Keeper got a hand to it, Lauren Hall. Hall has a go with her left. Cleary made the save, and then desperately it's Gassman who gets it away before Jocelyn Lee could follow up. That's going to go out of play, but more good defending and more good goalkeeping for Crystal Lake Force. Just trying to survive this strong opening second half salvo from the Rooks. Camargo. Carrie Collins. Dispossessed by Skylar Bierker. And already you can see the Rooks in this second half more eager to push forward than they were for much of that first half, Bierker switches field to the near side. Bella Sesniak. Scott Murray. Curving it into the feet of Egan with some space. Kylie Egan. Egan standing it up to the far post off the crossbar, and it bounces in. Catherine Stevens was there. I think it's an own goal as the team goes to celebrate with Egan. I think it's Hammond who got the last touch, and they tell Kylie Egan to go celebrate because she's going to claim it for now. Own goal in the 54th minute gives the Rooks the lead. Goal for the Rooks, scored in the 54th minute of play. An own goal assisted by number 8, Kylie Egan. And the Rooks are rewarded for the early pressure in this second half. Again, Stevens was there, but did not celebrate even a little bit, which If a striker gets even a nick of the ball in that situation, they're claiming the goal. So that's an own goal off the crossbar, off a defender, and into the back of the net. Nothing that Addison Cleary was going to do. Egan won that back. Referee plays advantage as Egan was tripped up. Bella Sesniak, Kylie Egan, Jocelyn Lee, Catherine Stevens. Can Lee get to this one? Almost. Ball still loose as down in a heap is Freund. Did not see Rivera coming. Referee's going to stop things to make sure she's all right. It was a fair challenge, but just got hit by a freight train in that collision, did Freund. And again, this is the kind of pressing forward, attacking, positive energy we just didn't see in the first half. And, you know, but credit to Emma Woodley. Whatever she said at halftime worked, made a few changes. We see Cat Stevens now coming in as a striker off the left wing, which I think makes more sense than having her come off the right. They've stuck with this 4-3-3, and they've got a good 11 out there to implement it. Kylie Egan looked like she was tripped up there. She'll win a corner anyway. This is already the fourth corner, I believe, of the second half for Edgewater Castle. Egan to deliver again. Ball's at the crossbar, I believe, 3 times already in this second half, and one of them then bounced into the goal. Egan whips it into the near post, trying to flick it on. Sesniak gets it in the middle. Scout Murray on the line. Somehow no. The follow-up saved. Still there. Stevens into the back of the net. The flag stays down. It's 3-1. You almost feel bad for Addison Cleary, who I think made 3 saves in that sequence. The ball ends up in the back of the net anyway. Catherine Stevens, 3-1 in the 57th. Goal for the Rooks. Her 4th of the summer, scored by number 5, Catherine Stevens. She was claiming that one, and Cat Stevens gives the Rooks the lead, and this is an absolutely perfect start for the home team here in the second half. And now they can think about this game maybe a little bit differently. Kelsey Ham can't quite keep that in. Defensive options on the bench right now for Edgewater Castle. You've got Danielle Budak, the center back, who's on that yellow card. You've got Natasha Davenport, who can play fullback. And Molly Saran, the backup center back, on the bench as well. I assume we will see, I'm pretty confident we'll see all 3 of them before this game is over. We saw all the subs in the first half, but we've seen Emma Woodley be really good at managing minutes. No better than last weekend where it was 120 degrees on the turf. And, oh, it's Jocelyn Lee just took that off, I think, the shoulder in the end. Meanwhile, here goes Scout Murray. But there first is Cleary. Again, that was insane goal line defense by Cleary in the back line of Crystal Lake there. They couldn't get it clear, but that ball went off the line at least twice. Cleary saved it at least twice. And then there was that awkward moment where I think just Kat looked down at her feet. The ball was sitting there, swept it home. And this is awkward. Crystal Lake are all over the place right now. Here goes Jocelyn Lee. Lee for 4, squaring, open net, no one there. The Rooks leading scorer, I think, too unselfish in that situation. Olsen deflects. Stevens trying to get to the end line, couldn't keep it in. It's a goal kick, but I thought Jocelyn Lee was just going to absolutely unleash that ball at goal and hope for the best. We saw Vidar Riedel of the men's team score a goal that way earlier today. Got in real close, didn't have much of an angle, and just hit it really hard, and it happened to go in. But again, after it was the Rooks who looked all out of sorts to end the first half, here in the second half, Crystal Lake have been just completely taken aback by the way the Rooks have started. And this is the point where you really start to think about how much of an advantage it is for the Rooks to have a full bench. And Crystal Lake Forest only have 3 players there. Here goes Jocelyn Lee, shoulder to shoulder with Freund. Cutting it back. Kylie Egan, first time. Got it wrong. Don't think she knew how much space she had there. Could have settled and passed it into the bottom corner, but she was excited to score another goal. Gives a high five to Jocelyn Lee. Okay, now I think next time Jocelyn might shoot. Though I appreciate the selflessness of a leading scorer to want to get her teammates involved. And if Egan meets that cleanly, it's probably 4-1. But just so much more relaxed now for the Rooks. You can miss a chance like that rather than in the first half where it felt like if you got any chance and you missed it, it could be punishing. Egan, she's everywhere right now. The Rooks co-captain. Lauren Hall, the other co-captain, shields that ball away, and Skylar Bierker clears. Cat Stevens able to turn and laid off for Kelsey Ham. And now the passing lanes are really starting to open up for the Rooks. Here goes Jocelyn Lee down the other channel. Lee catching up to this one. And free kick is the decision. And, yep, they wanted a goal kick. It's going to be a free kick from toward the corner, and see how aggressively the Rooks press this. So now the aggregate on the day in this doubleheader is Edgewater 10, opponents 1. That'll go out of play over the Rooks bench. The Rooks finish the regular season at Indiana United on Wednesday. A win here today means that Crystal Lake cannot even tie them no matter what ridiculous scenario happens at the top in first place. So a win here means they are not just guaranteed a share of the conference title, but they will win it outright. Back to that in a moment. Cat Stevens. Stevens looking to turn onto her left. Cat Stevens! Big save by Cleary. Rebound, Jocelyn Lee across goal. Cleared away. Kylie Egan following up. Egan squaring. Flicked on by Lee. Headed into the air. Stevens again. Cleary claims. More great desperation defending by the Force. As I was saying, if this is a win today for Edgewater Castle, it confirms they will be the lone conference champions. And then we don't know yet what the playoff structure is going to be for UWS this year, but stay tuned to the Edgewater Castle social media channels for updates on that, because there will be more soccer. Don't know when, don't know where, but there'll be more. Scott Murray to the end line. Ended up shooting that in the end, and Cleary was ready for it. Punches over for another Rooks corner. As for the Edgewater Castle men, the Midwest Premier League is nowhere near done for the season. Checking my personal calendar. It's going to be a while, but Edgewater Castle men are next home on Sunday, July 20th. It's a 6 p.m. kick against RKC Third Coast 2, who were just this past week, I should say, surpassed for the top spot in the standings for the first time all year. They had led the whole way, but Rockford FC jumping them after a win this week. That's over everybody. Lee trying to settle. Collins just trying to get out of there. Shostet. Hammond. Taken away. Hammond gets it back, though. Out of play for a Crystal Lake throw on the far side. '64th minute. It's a 3-1 lead for the Rooks thanks to an own goal and a Cat Stevens strike here in the second half so far. That ball straight down the middle. Lauren Hall to Kylie Egan. Skylar Bierker gets clear. Ramirez curving it back in. Hall heads it away again. Olsen able to turn. Ham clears up field. Gassman. Camargo. All the way back here for Chorus. Chorus got into some trouble there. Egan. Square ball's a good one here for Bella Sesniak. Bella. Stevens. Stevens floating this one to the far side. It's there. The contact wasn't good enough. It was on goal. Kylie Egan, another almost and another save for Addison Cleary. Those are adding up. 12 saves in the match for Cleary. So she's doing her part. Oh, excuse me, 12 shots on target. So that's 9 saves for Cleary. My mistake. Thank you, Liam, our stat man up in the booth. But hopefully, whenever the Rooks women play another game after Wednesday, hopefully they have a chance to play that game here. And the UWS is a national organization, but with only 4 or 5 divisions spread out across the whole country, it gets a little complicated on the travel front to set up a postseason. Substitution here for the Crystal Lake Force. It looks like the right back Chorus is going to go off, and she'll be replaced by number 9, Karina Lopez. Substitution for Crystal Lake, leaving the match, number 10, Laura Chorus, replaced by number 9, Karina Lopez. Lopez into the feet of Camargo. Camargo once more. Lopez gave it away. Scout Murray turning, and look at the space here for Catherine Stevens. Stevens slowed down a bit by Gassman. Olsen. Kelsey Ham in the shadow. Ham waiting, drives us into the feet of Jocelyn Lee. Lee just behind Egan. Egan, though, wide to the near side. Here comes Bella Sesniak with time to line this up. Sesniak's cross is punched away. Good job by Cleary not to take any chances there and to just do what she could. Camargo the other way. Into the feet of Shostet. And now Collins. Shostet up against Ashley Sesniak. Collins will whip this one toward goal, but not enough whip on the cross, out for a goal kick. And this is going to be the first involvement of any sort for Cynthia Waller in quite a while, having a very quiet second half so far, the debutant goalkeeper. I think I just heard over the walkie-talkie that we do have some confirmation of the next home game for the women's team. I don't know if that's news we're allowed to share yet, so we'll double check on that. Played long. Bit of a heavy touch by Scout Murray. Is she going to run it down? It's going to be close into the corner. Murray did really well there. She prevented a corner. No, it's a goal kick. I thought she got there in time to prevent the goal kick. It will go back to Cleary. Loose ball falling here for Lee. Stevens. Catherine Stevens blocked. Egan runs it down. Nice turn by Scout Murray. Scout Murray crossing. That's away by Freund. Shostet. Just sandwiched there. Egan just keeps going. Couldn't get the cross away. Gassman only as far as Ashley Sesniak. Sesniak didn't quite catch that right. Not sure if it was supposed to be a pass or a shot. Sesniak gets it back in space as the Rooks prepare Courtney Sangstock to come into the match. Bella into the area. Stevens is offside. Congratulations to today's Acorns Day giveaway winner, Jeremiah Martin. Please head to the merch tent to pick up your prize. And we're going to get a water break here in the 70th minute. The Rooks will be making that change amidst that.
Make me sweat, make me harder, make me lose my breath, make me water, make me sweat, make me harder, make me lose my breath, make me water. On my knees, I can keep my cool tonight.
Hearing that sub's going to be Courtney Sangstock for Scout Murray. That'll be like for like on the right wing. Again, a credit to Emma Woodley. Made that formation change a bit on the fly in the first half, and it never quite settled. But by the time we got going there in the second half here at Loyola, Edgewater have looked great. They have recovered from a really poor first half to have a really good second half so far in the opening 25 minutes of the second 45. Created a bunch of chances. They could easily have more than 2 goals in this half for all they've created, but they will take it for now. They'll still be looking for more, though, of course, and they'll be looking to hold Crystal Lake off the scoreboard. Again, we'll get you more updates, but it sounds like Edgewater are going to be hosting a postseason match in a couple of weeks' time. As soon as we have info about that on the broadcast, we will share that. And then again, I encourage you to keep an eye on the Edgewater Castle social media channels so that either if you're a local, you could come attend here in person at Hoyne Fields, or if you're watching from around the country or indeed the world, you could tune in here on the Edgewater Castle YouTube page with us and enjoy the broadcast. We really do appreciate you spending some of your summer Saturday with Rooks Soccer, whether you tuned in midway through this one or you've been with us all the way since the start of the men's doubleheader. We do appreciate it. Players coming out of the bench at the end of the water break. Again, the substitution is that Scout Murray is out and Courtney Sangstock is in. Substitution for Edgewater Castle, leaving the match, number 22, Scout Murray, replaced by number 19, Courtney Sangstock. Correction, substitution for Edgewater Castle, leaving the match, number 12, Jocelyn Lee, to be replaced by number 19, Courtney Sangstock. We're going to get subs for Crystal Lake in a moment as well. But first, here's Kylie Egan. And played that in between options, and this is going to roll to the corner, where letting it go is Gassman. Crystal Lake has subs ready if the referee notices that they want to make subs. He hasn't noticed yet. And still just didn't notice. Don't have referee mics in UWS, so if the assistant and the fourth official are both yelling and the referee either doesn't hear them or ignores them, nothing anybody can do. Gassman turning and sending that upfield. Bella Sesniak back for the safety of Waller. Easy pass for her to make to Skylar Bierker. Lauren Hall sends this forward. Rivera just turns and clears over the head of Ham, and this will roll out of play for a throw-in, and now I assume we will get those substitutions. It's going to be Leone and Shostet leaving the match, it looks like. Substitutions for Crystal Lake leaving the match: number 4, Caroline Shostet, and number 16, Kelly Leone. Replaced by number 24, Alex Vresniak, and number 78, Chloe Pfaff. Crossfield ball here for Bella Sesniak. 76 minutes, so Sesniak in some trouble there. Under pressure from Hammond. Rooks get out of it, though. Kelsey Ham. Courtney Sangstock. And just a bit too aggressive there from Emily Olsen. Ashley Sesniak now. Feels at times in this second half like the Rooks are playing up a player. Scout Murray. Nice square ball. Here's Emily Olsen. Room to line one up if she wants. Olsen. Stevens. Catherine Stevens. No. Still there. Stevens, ball still loose. Stevens, shot never came. But cleaning up was Ashley Sesniak, and now long run down the far side. Kelsey Ham in all sorts of space. Ham crossing it in. It's over the head of Scout Murray. Egan will try to chase this down against Camargo, who does well to find Gassman. But then airmails the ball forward, and Pfaff's not going to run it down. It'll be a Rooks throw as the Rooks prepare more changes. Lucy Tang going to be re-entering the match, as well as Cam Sangstock, it looks like. Long ball here for Hammond to chase. She's going to get there first. Could it be a chance for Crystal Lake? Hammond squaring. Nobody there. Skylar Bierker easily away. Murray a chance to turn. Egan. Lauren Hall now in possession. Been a quiet second half for her at center back as well. Through the middle, finding Courtney Sangstock. Couldn't leave that off for Stevens. But that dump and chase strategy we saw worked pretty well for Crystal Lake in that first half. We just really haven't seen it at all here in the second 45. Scout Murray, one of the players about to be subbed. Murray, Stevens. Kat Stevens wins a throw. And here should come the subs, but again, sometimes these don't get noticed. So it's going to be Scout Murray and just making sure we've got the right players, and Emily Olsen leaving. Substitutions for Edgewater Castle. Leaving the match, number 6, Emily Olsen, and number 22, Scout Murray. Entering the match, number 9, Cam Sangstock, And number 11, Lucy Tang. So Tang will go into midfield. Sangstock will go out to that right wing, at least that's what we'd assume. Throw in from Belasesniak. Bouncing in the area. Shot is blasted way up and over. As turning on it was Cam Sangstock. Interesting. Sangstock's going to play on the left wing with Stevens staying on the right wing rather than going to the middle, where Courtney Sangstock is. I guess, keep the sisters near each other for that combination. Belasesniak, good step, wants the throw, doesn't get it. Got to say, so far it's been a pretty successful Acorns day here at Loyola. Courtney Sangstock trying to run this down up against Freund. Freund didn't do well with that. Courtney shoved over, free kick. And another set piece opportunity. These have been fruitful today for the Rooks, at least in terms of chances created. Lauren Hall will trot forward, the Edgewater co-captain. Hall swings this into the middle, headed, wide open, but unable to direct it on goal. Courtney Sangstock. It'll just be a goal kick. Cleary getting things started quickly and overshoots Gassman. Belasesniak read it well and wins a throw. Cam Sangstock trying to settle. Stevens. Kat Stevens has a go! What a goal! A pure strike through the crowd from Kat Stevens. Her second of the second half. It's 4-1 here in the 82nd minute, and that should just about do it. Goal for the Rooks, scored in the 82nd minute, her second of the match by number 5, Catherine Stevens. So Catherine Stevens, just an absolute laser into the side netting. Clear didn't even move. Don't think it would have mattered. Edgewater have deserved another goal. They might get one more here. Egan, Courtney Sangstock. Sangstock has a go. Cleary did well to hold. Edgewater Castle on their way to improving to 7-0-0. They'll look to make it a perfect 8 out of 8 on Wednesday at Indiana United. Courtney Sangstock. Courtney gets her cross away toward the near post. That ball looked like it went out of play, but assistant referee wasn't quite in position. And at 4-1 in the 83rd, I don't think the Rooks are going to argue too much about that. Just a really, really good bounce-back performance after a tough first half. Here in the second half for Edgewater Castle, they have just clearly by miles been the better team here since the break. And the scoreboard reflects that. Ashley Sesniak. Seen a lot of minutes for her and her sister today. Bella's going to try to run this ball down and will. Bella with time. Kat Stevens open in the middle. Still Bella. Going to the corner here, Belasesniak. Chipped away for a throw-in. The clock very much the Rooks' friend at this stage. That ball thrown to the middle. It'll be a goal kick. 6 minutes to go here at Hoyne Fields. Getting a foot in there and paying the price for it was Cam Sangstock. Goals were started today by Kelsey Ham on what was probably a cross and just floated into the top corner for a great goal. Kelly Collins, then equalized for Crystal Lake. And in the second half, an own goal gave the Rooks the lead. And since that, Cat Stevens has scored twice more to make it 4-1. Ramirez. Can Crystal Lake find something here late and find some life? Skylar Bierker wins the header. Out for a Crystal Lake throw right beneath the scoreboard. Ham. Trying to defend that in the corner. Goal kick. Stevens, given away. Can Hammond take advantage? Bierker clears. Hammond heads it down. It felt like in the second half that anytime Crystal Lake get into the attacking half, they were only trying to attack with 3 or 4 players. Courtney Sangstock takes that away. Gassman dodges the challenge. Pfaff back here for Freud. And that pass is errant to Rooks' throw here in the 87th minute. Looking like it's going to be a 3-goal margin as Sangstock goes down. But I think you could make the argument that this has been maybe the grittiest result of the season for the Rooks, even more than that 3-2 stoppage time victory against DeKalb County a few weeks ago. Given that that was a game they were really the better team throughout and just made a couple momentary errors that conceded goals. They weren't the better team for a long stretch of this game. And they're going to come out on top anyway as Kylie Egan is fouled. And it's a free kick for Edgewater Castle here in the 88th. Taken quickly, Bella Sesniak. Sesniak floating it to the back post. Cam Sangstock couldn't quite meet it. Goal kick. Crystal Lake will finish up their season on Wednesday at Rockford Raptors. Loose touch here. Kylie Egan there. Big collision. Courtney Sangstock went in. Lucy Tang. Stevens. Egan. Lucy Tang. Tang from distance. Scuffed it. Goal kick. But again, more congratulations to Emma Woodley and the entire Edgewater Castle women's team on what has so far been a really successful summer, and they'll hope there is more success to come in July. Egan wins it back. Continues to be everywhere today, Kylie Egan. Stevens on a hat trick. Lucy Tang. And not on the same page there with Cam Sangstock. It's out for a throw as the legs are really tiring here at the end of this one, approaching the 90th minute. Headed back forward by Ashley Sesniak. That ball is way out of here as down the street it bounces. Egan, lots of space here to find Bella Sesniak. Bella, not the cross I think she had in mind, or the shot, whichever it was. Goal kick. See if the referee indicates any added time here at the end of this one. Haven't seen a signal yet. Gassman. Camargo on the turn. Looking long for the run here of Collins. Bumped by Hall. Was it enough contact to let the ball run out of play? No. Collins will keep this in and send it off a defender for a... No, they're going to say it's a goal kick. I couldn't tell from here if it came off of Collins again or if she didn't get there in time. Either way, we're now at the referee's discretion. Still have not seen any added time indicated, which makes me think this might be about it. Ashley Sesniak turns. Stevens. Cleared away by Freund, back forward. Out of play for a throw. Wondering if the referee is aware we're in added time. Four added minutes we're hearing. Egan. Courtney Sangstock, fouled. Free kick. And a card's coming out here. It is yellow for Kelly Ramirez. A yellow card caution has been issued in the 92nd minute to Crystal Lake Force number 70, Kelly Ramirez. Lauren Hall to take. Hall chipping this toward the goal. Stevens jumped forward. It's there, and good job by Cleary keeping her eye on the ball. And again, it's really strange. Crystal Lake, they only have two players forward. It's as if they're playing an 8-0-2. And for a team that's trailing, it just hasn't made any sense that they haven't really devoted any extra resources to trying to attack. The far side here's Ham. Throw on the far side here in the final of the minimum of 4 added minutes. One last push for the visitors. Gassman. Collins, that rolled out. Throw in for Edgewater. Referee checks his watch. Crossfield ball by Hall. Ham trying to run onto this one. Is there one final goal in this? Kelsey Ham. Courtney Sangstock away from her. Referee checks his watch again. And blows for full time. Edgewater stay perfect, 7-0-0 on the back of a fantastic second half. Not even a shot attempted by the Crystal Lake Force in that second half. It just doesn't really make any sense, but the Rooks played well, and they deserve the 3 points. Today's final score, your Edgewater Castle FC 4, Crystal Lake Force 1. Congratulations to today's player of the match, from the Rooks, number 33, Kelsey Ham. Thank you, fans, for attending today's match. We hope to see you again when the Rooks men's first team takes on RKC Third Coast 2 on Sunday, July 20th. That game kicks off at 6 p.m. Also, keep an eye on Edgewater Castle's social media for further updates about the women's team for the remainder of the summer. Well, that's going to just about do it here today from Hoyne Fields and Loyola Soccer Complex. Thank you so much if you joined us for all of today's doubleheader of victories. 7-0 for the men, 4-1 for the women. I had a lot of fun. Hope you all did as well. We do hope this is not the last time we talk to you for the women's team this season, but if it is, it has been a pleasure to watch this team just kick butt all summer long, and we hope that there is a postseason for them to continue this, and that it's a postseason with goals, with success, and that the team can really build on this into the future. Congratulations, Emma Woodley and the entire Edgewater Castle women's team on a great summer that hopefully has more chapters to be written. But that is the end of today's broadcasts here on the Edgewater Castle YouTube page. So for everyone here at Edgewater Castle FC, for our entire behind-the-scenes crew, I'm Alex Campbell saying so long. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful weekend. We'll see you for the men's team, hopefully for the women's team again soon, and go Rooks. The back four was a little ramshackle when we went to it, but the way we started the second half, Chris